Last week, the JMU Dukes beat Louisville, and Louisville was actually a top 25 team, but JMU said, you know what, it doesn't matter what you're ranked, we're going to try and beat you down. Now, we're trying to get into the top 15, but at this point of the season, we're just not quite there. We are number 19 in the nation, so we are a top 20 team. At 3-1, though, we're looking good. Our resume is pretty solid, especially because we beat Louisville. Hopefully, they can stay ranked, though, so that makes us look even better. Now, Myles Gaskin is your Heisman frontrunner right now, but look at how good our offense has been. We, for all intents and purposes, should be able to beat NC State by a pretty big margin today. Now, Cardon Johnson is moving his way down the field, and already the young fella is looking pretty good. 11 yards on that rush. Now, a play action fake here by Joe Disher. Disher is looking pretty solid. He had a couple bad weeks, but he's found his way back as a starting quarterback after coming back from his injury. Chase Sinclair, though, is well waiting in the wings, but Joe Disher getting 11 yards there looks pretty good so far today. Now, 3rd and 9, Disher with a dime over there to John Miller. John Miller hauls that one in for another 11-yard gain for the JMU offense. Now with a man in motion, Miller goes back to the backfield. A read option play here by Joe Disher. Looks like he's going down the field, and Jordan Dotson with the huge block on the edge that seals Joe Disher, and Joe Disher is going to go into the end zone. I think that's the longest run that he's ever had in his career so far. The sophomore gets a 40-yard touchdown run, and Texas actually upset Oklahoma by a 7-point margin there. Huge win for Texas. They should be ranked going into this next week, and that makes JMU look even better now because the top 5 team loses. That's one more spot at least that JMU can slide forward. If they win, of course. Now, 3rd and 12, Williams back in pressure. Those to the right-hand side, and Charles Tutt wraps him up. So it's a short offensive stint there for NC State because the JMU Dukes, believe it or not, that defense is looking solid. Now, JMU back in offense with a 3rd and 10. They find a pass over here to Jordan Dotson, and Dotson gets the first down, 12 yards on that play. Now, 2nd and 10, Disher back in the pocket again. A little bit of pressure coming to him. He throws one deep, one-on-one coverage. Can he get it in? No, it's going to be intercepted by NC State. A big there by their defensive back, Pratt. Right when we thought we'd go up 2 scores, NC State says not so quick. Now 1st and 10, Williams back in the pocket. Pressure off the edge. He throws it on the run, and somehow Rashad Jean Jr. can't intercept it, but he does get the tackle there. Now 2nd and 2, Williams again. Pressure in his face. Those are to Wilson. Wilson's got some time here. He's going to truck one of our defenders. Aries Cole is running completely nowhere near the play, and Charles Tutt finally wraps him up. That's some of the worst tackling we've seen from JMU so far, and that's saying something because they've had some pretty bad tackling. Now a big stop there by Rashad J. Jr. That forces a 4th down, but even though we're blitzing here, NC State is actually going to go for it. So 4th and 1 here in the 2nd quarter. Man in motion in the backfield. Williams is going to hand it off to Hines, and Hines finds his way through. Branch in on the tackle, but still, that's a horrible job by the JMU defense. They have to seal that line and make sure nobody gets through. Now Williams back in the read option. Branch is going to miss the tackle. Rashad J. Jr. is trying to get in there, and he tackles him down, but he's at the 2 or the 3-yard line. A great run by Jay Williams. The JMU defense, though, with their backs against the wall, they need to step up huge. Now Williams is here with some pressure on 3rd and goal. He gets hit and he fumbles. NC State is actually going to recover this one, but a huge play by the JMU defense. So on 4th and goal, NC State lines up for a field goal. This one is up, and this one is good. But you know what? We'll take a field goal over a touchdown. The JMU defense looked a little bad for the most part, but they stepped up big and got the stop when they needed it. Now Cardon Johnson is going back to work. He's been such a constant force for this JMU offense, and we're going to keep using him today. Now Disher back in the read option. It worked earlier. We pitch it out to John Miller this time. John Miller does get the first down, so believe it or not, the read option is absolutely money so far today. Now pressure in Disher's face, and he finds Jordan Dotson. Jordan Dotson with the spin move, getting a couple extra yards down to the 20-yard line. And with 3 minutes left here, Disher throws to the left-hand side. Sean McMahon with one of the best routes we've seen from him. Look at how beautiful this route is. He stops on a dime. Disher finds him just before the defender gets in. I think that's a touchdown, but they say it's not. So on 1st and goal, we hand it off to Cardon Johnson, and Cardon Johnson gets another touchdown to add to his already stellar career here in his senior season. We're now up 14-3 thanks to Cardon Johnson, and the JMU defense getting a pretty good stop earlier. Now 1st and 10, NC State's going back to the read option. They are killing us with this. A nice little pitch to Lewis. We're trying to get the tackle here. We finally knock him, but it's a fumble. Aries Cole, the freshman's going to pick it up, and look at the big fella rumbling, fumbling, stumbling. Aries Cole is going to take this one all the way to the house. The first touchdown of his career. The true freshman Aries Cole. I told you guys at the beginning of the season, this dude is going to be a problem. He's one of our fastest defensive players, and he plays defensive end. Now NC State does get the ball back. We're up 21-3, and no one is even close to him. Finally, Rashad J. Jr. hauls him in. That's a 33-yard play already for NC State. Now they have the ball again. They go to a read option again, and no one is able to tackle him. Finally, Andrew Anker brings him down, but that's 15 more yards for him. Now 1st and 10 again. Williams looking for something. Plenty of time, and Charles Tutt can't get to the ball quickly enough. They're now inside the red zone. Now first to go here for Williams. He's going to hand this one off to Hines, and Hines has all day. Literally goes into the end zone after spinning off of one of our defenders. So now NC State has a touchdown underneath their belt. They're feeling a little bit better. They've had some missteps. They've had some turnovers. But this JMU offense has been running the ball pretty much nonstop. We have to make sure that we can keep running it, chew that clock, and not let NC State get in any sort of groove, especially their defense. Now it's a 21-10 lead here on 3rd and 5. Disher gets hit as he throws it, and Drew Coach catches it. What happened to the defender there? He almost made a huge play, but Drew Coach, one of the fastest receivers on the squad, is going to dive into the end zone. What a play by Joe Disher to stand in the pocket, take that big hit, and find Drew Coach for a huge touchdown to extend our lead to 20-10. Look at this. The defender jumps into his own man, and Drew Coach snags it. So going into halftime, it's a 28-10 lead. We're cruising so far, but believe it or not, we've given up leads bigger than this before and lost games, so we have to make sure our foot stays on the gas pedal. Now here in the second half, NC State goes to a quick wide receiver screen. Rashad Jean Jr. You come to that dude on the weak side, he is going to destroy you. A big hit by him. Now Williams again, all the time in the world. Literally no pressure, and he finds a man. Pitch is going down the left-hand side. Brett Siegel, though, is going to wrap him up after 43 yards. Now going back to the read option here, Ezekiel, though, gets a huge hit to make it 3rd and 12. Thank you, Ezekiel, for finally making sure that read option doesn't really work for him. But they go back to it on 3rd and 12. It doesn't make any sense, but somehow they're actually going to get into the end zone. JMU, you did so good on those first couple of plays, but after that one, that read option again, that means that NC State's going to go back to it time and time again because they see that it's absolutely working against us. And with 4:30 left, Stephen Weldon's going to refield this one back in the left. He's going to move to the left-hand side. Plenty of room here. He bounced it out to the outside. Can he get past the defenders? He's going to truck a couple, but look, a 40-yard return. That was good for us, but our offense couldn't do anything, and now NC State has the ball back. Now, a good little tackle here. We're going to drop him down, make it 2nd and 1. We're only up 11 points now, and they go back to the read option. Matthew Bell gets the stop, but again, they're getting first downs. But now it's 3rd and 16. They're looking for a halfback screen. They can't get it, but look at this. A huge fumble, and no, why? I'm happy we got it, but you've got to pick that one up and run. Lewis again on the big hit here. Marcus Williams is going to fumble that one, or Jay Williams is going to fumble that one. But Urquhart, you have got to pick that one up and run. Look at what Aries Cole did earlier. All you had to do was pick it up and move your feet, and that's an easy touchdown. But Joe Disher says, give me the rock and watch what I do, and he finds John Miller on the next play. 35 yards in that touchdown pass. Joe Disher is looking like a man possessed so far today. He did have an interception that was kind of bad. Got to be a little frustrated with him there, but the JMU Duke fans, they're happy with how he's playing for the most part now. Now back on offense, going back to the halfback screen, Cardon Johnson in the open field. Can he make a man miss? He's going to try and stiff arm him, but they drop him down. So going into the 4th quarter now, it's a 35-17 lead. I think it's time to put the backups in. So Chase Sinclair is going to be in the quarterback. We don't want to injure any of the starters, so Daniel Clements is going to haul that one in. Number 40 at wide receiver gets 20 yards there. Sinclair back in the pocket again. Looks to the right-hand side, throws it, but no, that one's going to be intercepted by Pratt. He's the same guy who caught that pass earlier on the right-hand side that intercepted Joe Disher. So NC State has the ball back with the chance to make some moves. Did we make a mistake by putting in those rookies or those freshmen? We'll see what happens. Now, Ronald McMahon nearly has an interception, but he dropped it. Come on, McMahon. You got to use both hands. See the ball, catch the ball, and then run. Don't run first. But here we go on the edge, and Anderson with the big forced fumble. Ezekiel's going to pick this one up. Somehow he's still in the ball game here. Look at this. Jay Williams has taken so much punishment today. This JMU defense has gotten into the quarterback time and time again. We've forced fumbles. We've had big hits. We just need some interceptions. Now, Cameron King comes into the ballgame. He is going to get dropped just short of the first down marker. Now, 3rd and 4, Sinclair in the pocket. Throws it to the right-hand side, and this time Drew Coach is going to get it. 7-yard touchdown catch. Believe me, or correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Drew Coach has 2 receptions for 2 touchdowns. That's what I call being efficient. And with 2:40 left, NC State goes back to the wide receiver screen. We've had trouble with those. We've had trouble with the read options, and they're going to stick to it. At this point, this game is well out of hand. NC State really has no chance to come back, but I feel like this is more of a moral victory for them. Now, a huge hit there by Fisher. Look at this again. They go back to that screen, but this time, the defensive play call was perfect, and we light that dude up. Now, 3rd and 6, under 2 minutes left. Can we get a stop here and make this game get over with? They're throwing out to the right-hand side. This time, Curtis Oliver is going to stop him. So 4th and 2, they easily could have went for it here, but they punted it, which doesn't really make much sense to me. So we're going to walk out of here with a huge W. Joe Disher was the player of the game. Over 200 yards passing, 40 yards rushing, 3 total touchdowns. But most importantly, this JMU defense did what they needed to do. Time and time again, we've played kind of horrible teams that have put up too many points on us. This was the first time that we've really held a bad team to a low number of points. I would have liked to see single digits, but look, you can't be too happy, or you can't be too upset with how they played today. Now, the wide receivers were money. The defensive players were absolutely killing it today. You got to be happy all around. Ezekiel had 5 tackles with 1 sack. Rashad J. Jr. lit everybody up. But overall, the JMU defense played well. The JMU offense was incredible. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.